Hello everyone, it is 4:30 p.m. Central Time. That means it's office hours here in the Academy. Welcome. And hey Andrew, how are things?
Oh, not too bad. How about yourself?
Hanging in there. Hanging in there.
Yeah, it's been a couple of weeks, that's for sure.
It's been a couple of weeks this week. Yeah. It's been
Yeah, exactly. Hey, but the good thing is this is one of our highlights of the week. This is a time that we get to do something fun and
chill and
yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
talk geek. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, we like that.
All right. So since we spoke last week, what's up? What has happened in our little industry?
Oh, well, as always, a couple of different things. If you want to share my screen, the first one um, that I came across is it is in fact mid to late September, and that means a new service release for Intune. Um, a couple of things to point out, or I think that are worth mentioning. Where'd it go? So, of course, we have new iOS, new iPad OS, new Mac OS, and with every one of those annual releases comes new improvements in Intune. So, if you are managing those devices, recommend checking out what is added in here, as well as some new settings for Android as well. If you are using Copilot in Intune, there were a couple of updates in there, some new prompts and things like that that came across. Um, but this one I wanted to point out more of just an FYI. The Resource Explorer, meaning the Intune Resource Explorer, not as the note mentions down here, the Resource Explorer from ConfigMgr, if you're using tenant attach, Resource Explorer in Intune has now been renamed to Device Inventory. It's the exact same information and everything, but I thought that was worth pointing out. It is a little bit less confusing now, depending on which Resource Explorer you're trying to access. And then again, a couple of different improvements on the iOS and Mac OS side. There are now minimum requirements for Intune, I think we mentioned last week, and a new security baseline update experience, which is nice. So a couple of different things going on there. Also came across this post from Microsoft, a deep dive into Windows Autopilot device preparation, or as many of you may have seen it called in the community, Autopilot V2. The Autopilot device preparation is the actual name for it, and basically how to deploy it, when to use it, as the title suggests. So this post goes through some nice bullet points on some of the benefits, what the differences are between the two, and I thought that there was a nice slide here that just showed the device preparation flow, basically what this looks like on the device. So I think this is worth sharing as well. And it did show at the bottom here a couple of common issues that you may run into, and some best practices. I think for mine and Johan's side, we're still mostly seeing folks using Windows Autopilot and not device preparation. That's not to say you shouldn't try it out or test it in the lab or anything. But happy to see that we're getting some updates here. So we'll share this blog post this evening as well. Still getting through this, but I saw it shared several times over the last week. So, Johan, if you happened to have 5 minutes to digest this, please feel free to chime in. But the default compliance policy changed, basically the way that it works. And Rudy over at Patch My PC did a very nice blog post around this. As I said, still kind of getting through this blog post myself, but wanted to make sure I get it out there. So if there's something that you're noticing different in your tenants or in your environment, how this thing is being checked, there are some resources out there that talk about what's going on. So I was hoping maybe we could find out together what the actual experience looks like. I know for a lot of folks, what we see, especially in labs, if you're not using a compliance policy, this one will usually show as failed. So that's kind of what I was looking for, to see if it was different. But anyways, we'll digest this and probably come back to it next week anyways. But I did, it was important enough, I wanted to get it out there. And then just a couple of, I thought were interesting updates. Johan, I'm sorry to share this news with you. WMI command line is going to be removed with Windows 11 25 H2. I'm sorry to say.
I almost thought it was gone already, but I'm not too particularly worried about that one.
I did love in the timeline here, it has been deprecated for nearly a decade. So, yes, that is going away in the next feature update. And last but not least, this isn't really systems management or anything, but for those of you that are using OneNote, you've probably come across this challenge here over the last, while you've used it. And pasting text only is coming to OneNote. So your typical Control-Shift-V is going to work just fine on the OneNote side of things. So I wanted to reshare that as well. A couple of fun updates there at the end. But that's what I came across.
All right. Let me steal the screen then. Let's see if I can make this work. The first one, I wouldn't say it's any news. It's a total sidebar, but it sure made my morning, and I needed that. I was up working late with a customer project, and I just needed a laugh, and this was pretty much it. See if I can get that away so we can see it clearly. I thought that was a solid tip.
That's a good one.
Starting with a run so the day cannot possibly be any worse.
Love it.
I love it. Yeah. All right. Back to our normal news. Mr. Niehaus, he released a new version of his branding kit. I don't think you mentioned that, right?
No, we did not.
No. So this is a kit that's been gone through multiple version releases, but if you go over to the GitHub, you get more details about the actual release and what's been fixed there, and then we have, of course, had the full changelog going back. But this is a good solution and basically an app you add to Autopilot flow, and it will take care of a lot of the branding. And you can toggle these on and off in the script there. So I should mention that. Then I could have sworn I have bookmarked this for last week's office hours, but I couldn't find it in our link collection, nor our emails in between. So I'll share it now. Sysinternals have a couple of updates. Zoomit and some other utilities are there, and there is this little see what's new, get to the gory details around this one. So figured I should share that. Then on the security side of things, I stumbled across a remarkably good read. It's not a short read, but it's a good read. And it's basically a long article around what a real-world Active Directory compromise could look like. So if you're feeling brave, check this one out. That was interesting to read, to say the least. And speaking of security, I saw a notification that GitHub is strengthening their security around updates for packages that are shared with, other modules and whatnot, because obviously, if your code is referencing someone else's code and that someone else's code get compromised, congratulations, you are compromised. So it sounds good. Great that they are doing these improvements. And finally, for those of you who haven't signed up for Microsoft Ignite just yet, the sessions catalog, I got an email what was published earlier this week. So sign up for it either in person, that has a price to it, or you can do it online and then it's free. So highly recommend that one. Still bummed that I'm not in Chicago again. That would be nice.
Yes.
Here we are. So that's all I had in terms of news.
I just thought of one thing that would at least, I think, be worth mentioning. I would be shocked if you did not come across this over the last week, Johan. The story about the perfect 10 CVE on Entra that has been patched.
I saw that one. I was basically a researcher finding out that if before the fix was applied, if you crafted a token in tenant 1, you can use that to access tenant 2. Probably not ideal.
No. And it was some undocumented token type that you shouldn't be able to grab. And it was, not only did you have access, you had full access. So I'm very glad that it was reported, patched before everyone knew about it. But yeah,
I happen to have the link to it. I remember retweeting it.
There's a whole bunch. I did just come across a Wired article on it. I'm not sure which one to specifically share, but yes, I'll share the Wired article. And if I find one that actually, this might be the I found the original post. Yes,
there you go. All right, do you have it on your screen?
I do.
All right.
And this was exactly what I recalled. An undocumented impersonation token called an actor token that's supposed to be used for back-end communication. I could basically generate that, as I understand it.
So basically God mode in every tenant ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad they fixed that one. That sounds like a good security update.
It's not every day we see a 10 rated CVE, which is a good thing. I think I would have a lot more gray hair if we saw perfect 10 CVEs often.
I can just imagine if the wrong person was the one that figured it out.
Yeah.
Glad that there are folks with a decent common sense and responsibility too.
Yeah. And if you look here, it does look like they patched it pretty quickly after reporting. So
I would bet, yeah. I was like, whoops.
Yeah. Imagine being the first person that saw that report. Rough day.
I need to go talk to my manager right now.
Exactly.
Whatever you're doing, stop doing it to focus on this.
Exactly.
All right.
So thank you for resharing my screen. I forgot that we didn't share that. So.
Right then. Beautiful.
All right. Looks like the chat is starting to get a little busy here. Did you have anything else to share?
No, sir. I'm done.
All right, perfect. I see a hello from Amir and also from Akos, who says, we miss you here in Baden, Switzerland for Workplace Ninja Summit. We miss you all too. I promise you we do.
Yeah. No, I was there last year. It's a great conference. So yeah, we miss you.
Oh, I've been seeing some really fun tweets from it. I saw they had a food truck night the other night, and the speaker dinner looked like a lot of fun. Akos, I hope you guys are having a great time, and it does look like a fantastic conference. First question here from Benny. Oh, let me see. Hold on. I think this might have come through at a different.
That's a YouTube comment.
Yeah. What is. So I see a question first, but then to tested a detection and remediation script. It fails to uninstall the update with the quiet option. Event viewer shows an error on the client. Windows Update could not be uninstalled because of a specific error. Parameter is incorrect. What is the best way to remove this update with Intune? Would the uninstall from the ring force a machine restart?
Which update is it? September update, perhaps? Doesn't say. Let's see if I can see it on the YouTube stream itself. It's odd that sometimes it just cuts the.
Yeah, it's like they came in at a different.
Oh, I'm checking the YouTube feed manually, and it doesn't say which update.
Okay.
But in general, removal of an update will require a reboot.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say yes, it will do a reboot or will require a reboot.
Agreed. All right. Zach is joining us this afternoon and is asking, with Windows 11 25 H2 coming soon, what version is everyone running in prod today? We're mostly 23 H2 and thinking of quickly moving to 25 H2 in the first half of 2026.
Yeah, I mean, for the longest time, like 9 out of 10 of the customers I worked with, they were on 23 H2. In the last 3-4 months, we see a couple more embracing 24 H2 as that has become a little bit more stable and quirks have been figured out. So it might not be a 50-50 split yet, but it's getting there. And since 25 H2 is just an EKB on top of 24 H2, there shouldn't be any super surprises with it, at least in compared to previous EKBs, like a Windows 11 22 H2 to 23 H2. That was an EKB. No many surprises at all in that one. So I'm hoping this one will be the same, but we shall know shortly what the state and the quality of 25 H2 is.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm hopeful.
Yeah, same. And I imagine it will be very soon. I mean, we were talking, last week or the week before that it was starting to roll out to insider previews.
I saw a tweet from Windows Central earlier today, or might have been yesterday, thinking of it, that apparently some links has been floating around, but it didn't show up in my Visual Studio yet, so I figured it would be a bit.
Yep.
Was just griping about them removing Windows 10 from the Visual Studio program. I needed that image for some testing, but I found a copy.
Perfect. Sounds good. Benny did reply KB 5065431, which does look like the September CU. But yeah, I think to your point, Johan, still, if you're doing the uninstall from the update rings, yes, likely to generate a restart, just like the install. That's what I would try first before doing anything else, because Benny did ask also, what's the best way to remove this update with Intune? I would try to go that route first.
Yeah, I mean, that's the native option. Obviously,
yep.
Updates can be removed from command line.
Yep.
And Intune can do things on the command line. So either through a script or through an application, you can certainly run stuff.
Mm-hmm. All right. So we got a couple other questions here over on YouTube. Do you know if there's a way to create Intune filters with other attributes than the ones in the drop-down box in the UI? Would like to create ones with extended attributes set on devices.
No.
I don't believe so. And if you're looking at the attributes on the device object, like the extension attributes, like you can add to a user, for example, you could do that on the Entra ID side for like a dynamic device group or something like that. But there is not a one-to-one relationship with what's available in dynamic device group queries and Intune filters.
Or assignment filters, as they've been named it too.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think you can. Would be cool though.
Yeah, so I often like to share these just because they're good references to have. But Microsoft does keep this documentation updated on what properties are available for the filters here. So if there is something that you're looking for, this is where you're going to find whether or not you can actually use it. And then the other one, group queries, is a, let's see if this is the one I'm looking for. It is. Quite a nice reference, I think, on dynamic membership groups in Entra ID. We'll also have a lot of that information in addition to how you can build queries and things like that.
I just checked the dynamic membership on one of my groups, and the extensions attributes are there.
Yeah.
Not just for filters.
Yep. So this is a good way to get that information. Pretty sure it's got that in here somewhere too. Oh yeah, here we go. So as you get down into this documentation, here's where you can actually use those extension attributes. Or even the custom extension properties. These are always fun to work with.
Right.
All right. Do you know if there's a way to know which firmware will be needed so that the SecureBoot certs will get auto-updated by Microsoft Update?
No. I don't.
All right. And related to the SecureBoot certificates, will we also have to update the SecureBoot cert for VMs, for example, VMware VMs?
For the same mitigations that you have for Windows, physical devices also applies to VMs. In fact, there's a great, if you want to play around with the Black Lotus mitigations, testing out in VMs is a great way of learning what happens, including what you need to change on your Pixie servers, the mitigation that has to be done not just on the machine itself, but everything that you will boot or want to boot with. So boot images, ISOs, they have their own files. USB sticks, they have their own files. Pixie has their own files. And WDS is different from Pixie Service in ConfigMgr. They have their binaries in different locations. And it's going to be a nightmare eventually, but it's doable.
All right. Matt's asking about in the ConfigMgr console, Windows 11 Upgrade Readiness section. What does other mean, and how can you find those machines? We've got the Windows 10 machines, the Windows 11 machines, but then other. I don't know if I've got...
There.
It doesn't look like I have an other in my lab.
I had a couple of others. I have 5 other. That is a good question. Anything obvious? I wonder if it's other issues or something, but it's listed on the version, so it doesn't really make sense.
Yeah, that's interesting. Do you have any that are older than 10 that are actually in the lab?
Older than 10? No. I mean, I obviously had a couple of Windows 7 devices back in the days, but nothing that is alive and kicking. No, nothing that pops up. See, the System Center dudes have a pretty good readiness report also.
Yeah, like there's a lot. Yeah, I can't find anything on what other could be.
Anyone happen to know, that would be a good time to speak up. Sysinternals dudes did not have it in their reports. I can show the report. It's a pretty good report. I have it up.
Sounds
I can
good.
find the window again. This one here. This is a free report that you can leverage and use. We talked about that last week because they had a free subscription layer they announced.
Yep.
And this is one of the reports that are available.
Yeah, very good. It's kind of the one I've been using the most.
Yeah. But I was hoping this one would have the info there, but maybe we can peek in the database and see if we can find out what those what that really means.
Okay.
Matt was asked the question. Great question. I'll do my homework.
Yeah, and the only reason I even brought up the earlier ones, Johan 7 and 8, are, at least according to the doc on the report, is it shows a count of Windows 7, 8, 10, and 11 devices. But yeah, if you don't if you don't actually have any device objects in there.
I was hoping that I would find something in the device collections here for ready. To upgrade, but
nothing.
No.
All right. All right. Let's see. If got a question here, I missed this. Sorry. Jeremiah had a comment over here on Twitter. We've upgraded most machines to 24H2 at this point, and it's now quite stable. Rockwell software still requires 23H2, though. Yeah, I think that it seems like that's pretty much what we're down to, or some software requires the older one, or at least hasn't certified on 24H2. I have seen that as well. But yeah, to Johan's point earlier.
That told me this regarding, that was crazy bad. Let's see if this works better. This is what chat suggested. Either data is missing, or it's like an unknown device that simply doesn't match anything that Microsoft has, or was not in scope, or something like that.
All right. Thanks, sir.
Welcome.
So if WMIC is still needed on 24H2 or later, is using DISM/online/add capability the best way to install it? There was a little back and forth here in the chat on that, but yeah, on 24H2, it should still be there. On 25H2, I don't know if this article had a way to get it back. Yeah, I think it's just being advised, to Matt's point here, Microsoft is saying time to switch to PowerShell. Yeah, turn it into a feature on demand in 22H2. and then announced and I do remember, I'm pretty sure we probably talked about this back in January when they said it was going to be removed altogether. So it wasn't, to your point earlier, Johan, not entirely a shock to us that it was being removed. But I think that's how you understand it now too, right? Is that it's going to just be completely gone from the OS.
That was the gist of it.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing a guide from, I think it was Bleeping Computer, that they claimed that if you upgrade, it will also be removed. But I have not tested that.
Yes, that was in the article from earlier. That's what they mentioned. As soon as you upgrade, it's going to be removed. Same, have not tested it as well.
I mean, basically, the tool has been used to not only for good things but also for bad things.
Mm-hmm.
So security reasons.
Yeah, this article actually goes into that a little bit too, and has some additional references if you want to read about it later. So it mentions in here the tool has long been considered a living off the land binary.
You have it on your screen?
I do. I like the acronym for that.
Oh yeah, it's a good one.
Microsoft signed executable that threat actors exploit for a wide range of malicious activities during attacks. You can gather quite a bit of information from it, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's useful. Problem, I guess, is if installers are still calling it, and it will break.
Yep. All right. Dan's mentioning that they are seeing large numbers of devices reporting 80004005, everyone's favorite error code, in the WUAHandler.log when installing Windows and Office updates this month. Any tips for troubleshooting?
Not particularly, but I have seen a couple of threads regarding issues with the September update. There was one on Reddit in particular that was going strong.
All right.
Yeah, the usual Patch Tuesday mega thread. Well, there are apparently a good chunk of folks that had successful with it also. I can share the top part of the thread. Cannot share the bottom part of the thread because there is some language there that
This is a family channel.
But this one, this happens every month, this thread here. So read up on that one.
Yep. Yes, I'll say there are some frustrated sysadmins in the in the comments.
Yeah, I put it mildly. All right. What else?
Related, Matt mentioned that there's a problem with UAC MIS repair functionality that was introduced in the September OS patch. AutoCAD was affected. Possibly the preview release for next month may have fixed it. Otherwise, you had to make registry entries to whitelist the products.
Yep.
Not fun.
No fun at all. I haven't stumbled across that particular app, but I don't use AutoCAD on a daily basis either. So,
yeah.
Thank you for the info, Matt. Appreciate it.
All right. Is there already a way to update our SCCM boot images to have the new SecureBoot certs so we can start testing right away?
An update boot images in ConfigMgr with that. Yes, if you do, you will break stuff that is not mitigated now. There is a gentleman, see where I saved that note. He basically wrote a post like fixing what's broken. Let's see if I can find it. It was a really good read. Give me a moment. Working on it. This one here. This is a great read. Dang it, the cert is expired. Let me open that link somewhere else first before I make a fool out of myself on a live stream. No, it's just an expired certificate. It's still solid. So, making everything work after it breaks. But this article goes through the mitigations that you have to do on boot images in WDS, and also when you run native through the Pixie Responder in ConfigMgr. But basically, it involves copying a couple of files, mounting the image copy files. Good read, I'll say.
Would you say those steps are at this point your best bet if you're going to start working through mitigation of this? Or do you have any other resources that you would recommend?
Well, I mean, these steps are pretty much the only one,
Okay.
but there is another resource that we often share, and that is from Mr. Helmut. Yeah, Helmut Wagensonner. He also has a really good guide around this architecture flow. Basically, some information that is related to the same as the other one had, and a little batch file to help you copy them. But of course, you should be using PowerShell. But yeah, these two articles I would start there. Or if you happen to go to MMS in Nashville, you should attend Mike Terrell's and Gary Block's session, because they are spending 2 hours on it, or an hour and 45 minutes.
Yeah, those two guys know a little bit about boot images and bio.
They basically said at some point that they decided that, all right, this particular piece, we should be the ones that knows like everything there is about it.
Mm-hmm.
Quite determined, gentlemen.
Indeed.
All right. Maybe that.
All right. Well, thank you, sir. Zach mentioned in here, he agrees. You are young in spirit, Johan.
Oh, thank you.
And Zach also mentioned Anthony Fontanez. God, I hope I pronounced his last name properly. Has some nice remediation scripts in addition to Gary and Mike's work for Black Lotus. I did bring that up if you want to share my screen, Johan.
I do.
All right. And I know he's had some fantastic posts over the years here.
All right, awesome. I mean, the more information we can that are being gathered around this, the better, because it's a complicated topic.
Mm-hmm.
All right, thank you, sir.
Yep. Thanks, Zach. We'll make sure we share that one today as well. I like how all of these posts actually have a Black Lotus in here. It makes it just feel like doom. It's impending doom.
I hope not.
Yeah, you and me both.
I was just reading an article yesterday because Microsoft sent out new information to organizations who submit files for signing for this, like developing their own EFI files, and Microsoft's what they're doing was also a very interesting read coming back. So yeah, it'll be fun next year.
Yes.
Hey, book a cabin in Fiji in October and just turn off the phone.
Yeah, that's not bad. I was going to say you and I here on this channel have an interesting idea of what fun is. But now that you mention it, cabin in Fiji, that's not bad. I think we might have a few folks not so happy with our idea, though.
Well, if you can get just maybe 4 or 5 million people buy a masterclass, then we can kind of buy Fiji or something.
There we go. All right. Let's see. Make sure I haven't missed any here.
I don't believe so. But we still have 11 more minutes. If anyone have any questions now or comments, now would be a brilliant time. I do not see any more questions.
I do not either. I just looked through the list. I'm pretty sure we got to everything.
All right, then. Well, that leaves us to, as always, thank you everyone that joined, and thank you for all the good questions and comments, and the teamwork in between the folks that joined as well. Yeah. And Andrew, thank you.
Thank you, Johan. Thanks everybody for joining. Hope you have a great rest of your week.
Bye for now.